Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I'd just put on the camera again and talk casually about some things. I wanted to update you about what's been happening. So, a couple of months back, I made a video called, what was it called? It was something to do with like, I'm having a problem as a creative. And basically, I was really frustrated because I came to this realization that I'm trying to do too many things as a creative. Like, I'm juggling too many balls, right? So, in that video, I talked about how I want to be a writer. I've always had these, fantasy story ideas in my head. So, I want to write fantasy books. I'm, a keyboard player. So, I want to practice the piano and the keyboard, and I want to get really good at the piano. I love orchestral composition, so I want to get good at composition. I'm in several bands, so I want to, be a good performer and play in bands as well. I'm a YouTuber, I love making videos. I've always loved making videos. And now I've got two YouTube channels where I'm making videos and I want to grow those channels. And what else? There's some other things. But that's the gist of it. I'm juggling three main crafts, which is writing, music, and video making. And the problem that I faced, that I always face, is that all three of those crafts are huge. They're like some of the biggest crafts in the world. Like, well, that's debatable. There's a lot. I mean, every craft is like, the sky is the limit. You could spend a lifetime on any one of those crafts, is what I'm saying. And even just the piano, like, it would take a lifetime to get to that point where you're like, top echelon, like you're an absolute master. You're just one of the best in the world, right? But I mean, I'm not trying to be one of the best in the world at any one of these things. No, that's not the point, But it was this realization that I had, that I was like, if I continue juggling all of these balls, you know what I mean? If I continue to try to get good at all of these things, then maybe it will end up that I'm good at none of them. You know what I mean? I was like, I had this feeling that I'm like, have I been doing it wrong all of these years since I started this journey of, becoming a creative? And right from the start, I was doing all of these things. I started writing in a blog, which was called The Hero's Journey, and it was just basically a memoir. It was sharing my life story through writing, and that was a way that I could like improve my writing craft. So I was doing that, and I was practicing the piano a lot. Back then I was practicing like 3 to 4 hours a day, so I was really working hard. And it was actually jazz piano, like learning different jazz chords and kind of going down that path, because I felt like that was the path of mastery for me that was presenting itself at the time. Still is. Like, I still practice that stuff on the piano today. I was making YouTube videos. Back then it was a lot of effort on this channel. If you scroll back down, it was the videos where I was taking my keyboard out to like scenic locations and filming and recording my piano music out in these beautiful places in the South Island where I live. But that was a lot of work. It was hard. Carrying the keyboard like that across these like mountain landscapes, it wasn't good for the keyboard. The keyboard died in the end. It really didn't like being lugged around like that in the mountains. There's literally a video called like The Search or something like that, where I actually took it into the mountains and I was like lugging it around in all of these different scenes. Yeah, it wasn't easy. That's why I stopped making those videos, if you're wondering, if you happen to be one of my original subscribers from back then. Rest in peace those days, right? Yeah, so what was I saying? I was talking about, yeah, this is back in 2018 when I started walking this like creative journey. So writing, I was making videos, I was practicing the piano, I was composing music. I've always been composing like original piano music. That composition process has evolved. That I think composition is like probably my strongest craft. I don't know. It's quite hard to say which of the crafts is my strongest, But composition is definitely the one that has taken me the furthest, in the sense that I'm actually composing for bands now, and the bands that I compose for are actually doing really well. Like I'm loving the work that I'm doing with my bands, especially my band Emily Alice. Like I'm able to like it's the band. Well, in fact, both bands. I'm able to compose music that is like it's the bit like I've gotten to this point where I can provide that value to the bands, is what I'm saying. So I'm really stoked about that. But yeah, as I was saying, I've been juggling all these things since I began, and when I made that video a couple of months back, it was like, man, I honestly felt that I was doing everything wrong, and that nothing is going to succeed, and that I'll ultimately like fail as an artist and as a creative. Not spiritually speaking, you know, not artistically speaking. Like deep down, I know I'm happy and I'm satisfied with my work as a creative. Like I love what I'm doing, and I love the path that I'm walking. It's, you know, it's super magical and it's adventurous. It's an adventurous path, like doing all these different crafts. But, you know, monetizing that is what I'm talking about here, and it's just a fact of life that, you know, we have to make money somehow, and I've thrown pretty much everything into this path of, you know, this creative path, and like the thought that I'd never be able to monetize it is it's tough, because like ultimately I want time freedom. Like that's what I'm aiming for. I want time freedom, which the whole goal that I've had is like making money from what I love to do, right? And being, so that allows me time to really focus and get even better at those things. That's the whole model. So yeah, I mean, I know that it's gonna work out eventually, but it was just that day that I was like confronted with this thought that I was like, man, maybe I've been doing it wrong this whole time. And what triggered that thought is actually a video that I saw from one of my favorite YouTubers, Captain Sinbad. It was a video about focus and how like focus is your superpower. And I absolutely agree. I think focus is so powerful. And if you're able to like harness your focus on one thing and really work on that one thing and get really good at that and obsess over that for like years at a time, yeah, it's only natural that you're going to get really good at that thing, right? Sorry, just going to enjoy my tea here while I chat with you. So I saw this video about focus, and the whole like thing that he was saying is that you've got to find that focus point and cut out everything else. And so that had me thinking about a new strategy for how I'm going to be doing things, you know, juggling these crafts that I you know work on. So I completely changed my strategy and I cut out everything else. So I stopped working on my book that I'm writing, which is the second book to the one that I showed you in the first video. So I stopped writing, I stopped world building that. I didn't compose any music. I didn't compose any like orchestral music or anything. I even stopped some of the, you know, hobbies that I do. Like I cut my climbing gym membership, and I just focused on practicing the piano, because I felt like that was my focus at the time, like just practicing hardcore. So I took up my practice to like 4 hours a day, and just I was here, yeah, practicing 4 hours a day, and it seemed like the best thing at the time. I'm like, yeah, this is right. I'm gonna work on my writing later when I have more time from uni. Right now, I'm going to work on practicing the piano for 4 hours a day. So that's what I did. But I'll tell you what, it failed completely. I actually burned out so hard. I kind of developed this RSI in my wrist. And in fact, I've already made this mistake. I made exactly the same mistake last year. And I'll link that video here. I'll see if I can put it here. It was like, so I learned my lesson or something. And it's literally exactly the same thing. I went really hard on my piano practice. Something was wrong in my form or technique or whatever, and I developed a problem in my wrist, and I ended up in the physio again. So that's what happened when I, narrowed my focus. And so that's case one. Case two is that I'm on university break now, and the break started like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, okay, with the break from university, with the break from the bands for a little bit, like there's no gigs on over the next few weeks, I'm going to just focus on my writing. I'm working on a book at the moment. It's the second book of a science fiction fantasy story about music. And this project, I love this project. It's like, oh my god. But it's so big. It's such a ginormous project. And there's so much work to do. So I felt like, okay, I'm going to write the draft. Over 5 weeks, I'm just going to write the draft. I'm going to sit down 5 to 6 hours a day, just write the draft. That was my intention. And I honestly thought I could do it. I'm not going to really play music. I'm actually going to take a break from making videos for a time. And I'm just going to write. It sounds good. It sounds like I could do that. But I'll tell you what, I failed. I couldn't do that either. I've been doing okay. Like, I've been averaging about 3,000 words a day on the draft. But I was reminded, actually, that writing a draft of a fantasy book, it's not easy. You've got to, like, conjure up scenes from nothing. Like, I've got an outline, but even still, like, an outline only takes you so far. Like, when you're sitting to write a draft of a book, you have to, like, come up with the scenes on the spot. My favorite process when I was writing the first book was actually, like, crafting the sentences. When I already had the material, I described it to my friend earlier, and I said, when you craft, like, when you actually, improve on the draft, you craft the story, you craft the sentences. It's like you've got the Play-Doh and you're just, like, shaping it and molding it. But when you're drafting the story, you're making the Play-Doh. You're literally making the Play-Doh out of nothing. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not easy to write a book. But then again, if it was easy to write a book, then we'd all be writers, I guess. So yeah, what I'm saying here is that I've struggled to like narrow my focus. It seems like I can't do it. I have to keep balancing all of these things. It just seems like that is what my creative journey is. That's how it's unfolding, and I think that's how it's gonna stay. I'm definitely not gonna sacrifice any one of these things. I think it's all a holistic thing. As I've walked this path, it's slowly revealed itself to me. It's like unfolding, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting closer to the vision that I had. I don't even know what the ultimate manifestation of that vision is, but I think here, how I've done this room up is like a reflection of where I want to head. And I actually made a video about making this room, which was, it's like the upload before this, like turning my inner city room into a magical creative space. Where am I heading with this? I'm so sorry if these thoughts are rambling and all over the place. This is how I see my creative journey. It is all a little bit all over the place. And it's been a process of like refining that for me and finding like how all of the different things interrelate. You know what I mean? It's almost like I'm the sun and all of these different crafts are like orbiting me. I don't know, is that a good metaphor? Maybe. Yeah. The next thing I wanted to say is that the other channel that I've got, which is called the Josh Bots channel, that is like my main channel. That is my main focus. Things have completely changed. This used to be my main channel. This is still my darling channel. I love this channel. I've been working on it for so long. I've been just slowly putting out videos and like turning it into the magical kind of creative space that I wanted to make of this channel. I wanted it to feel like an adventure. And ultimately, this is still my main channel, secretly, even though I'm going to be working on the Josh Bots channel really hardcore. yeah, it's just that the Josh Bots channel is more focused. The niche is music, and I definitely think there's more of an opportunity there to like really build it up and just build an audience around music. You know, find the fellow musicians who are like grinding and practicing and like producing music and composing and performing and busking and playing in bands, and I wanna provide value in that kind of way. I want to like basically I wanna be able to help the person I was when I started my creative journey, you know, my musical journey. Like, I was lost. I was trying all these different things and failing for so long. And, you know, I was stumbling in the dark. I didn't really have any kind of mentor or anything. So I want to kind of be that mentor for people who are like me, you know, 5, 6, 7 years before the journey, you know, before me on the journey. And I want to be able to provide value to those people. And I want to be able to provide... I'm stumbling on my words. I want to be able to provide value and a community to those people, because I think that could be quite a cool thing. And yeah, I've definitely learned a lot of lessons as a musician, and I want to be able to share those and impart that knowledge. And so I'm gonna do that on the Josh Bots channel. Then what is this channel gonna be? I'm going to continue with the piano box videos. I'm going to keep composing music here, you know, like the piano music, and I'm going to make some odd videos like the last one I made, just kind of adventurous, magical kind of videos. I'm actually I'm making like a writing vlog video where I'm going to talk about my writing a little bit. So there is no niche on this channel. It's really just my journey. It's a reflection of my journey, and it's gonna stay that way. And so this is where I was heading. The Joshua St. Clair channel, the vision is gonna be like a multidisciplinary artistic thing. So that's the idea that I'm promoting. This whole idea of being a multidisciplinary artist. And the power of that, because I honestly just think that is what my creative journey is. It's a combination of all these different things. It's an amalgamation of writing, video making, and music. Let me know if you're the same. Maybe you also have like all of these different creative hobbies, creative things that you're doing, and like you find that they all connect up, right? And the magic is in the combination of those things, because that's what I'm finding. Like, there are times when I see incredible pianists and I'm like, damn, I could be like as good as him if I wasn't a writer and I wasn't making videos and I was just practicing the piano. I could be as good as him, but damn, I'm not. I see incredible, you know, young writers like self-publishing their books, and I'm sitting there like, man, that could be me. I could be self-publishing my book right now, my 3rd book, 4th book, if I didn't play the piano and if I didn't make videos. And I see like so many YouTube channels like blowing up, and I'm sitting here, you know, still haven't crossed 1,000 subscribers after making like 200 plus videos and like being on here for like 6 years. I see channels that, you know, they've hardly made like 20 videos and they just blow up, and I'm like, damn, they just got it. Nice, I respect that. But that could be me if I didn't practice. Well, actually, no, this isn't the same for YouTube, because YouTube is kind of like, it goes in tandem with something else you're doing. Anyway, what I'm saying is that I sometimes I compare myself in each of the different crafts to people who are really further along in those crafts. But then I remember, it's the combination of all these things that I do that is what makes me unique, and that makes my work unique. So that is what I'm going to bank on. That is what I'm going to focus on. Okay, I think I've reached the conclusion that I was aiming for. So sorry that was a really roundabout way that we got there. And thanks for sticking around and listening to me rambling about artistic, creative journey stuff. Yeah, I'd love to hear about your creative journey. Let me know in the comments. I love to read your comments. Honestly, they make my day. I want to meet other creatives because you know what I mean. Like I'm surely not alone in this journey. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know where you're at. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. The journey has only just begun, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.